this is probably one of the most controversial things in the country that only people like us are talking about, right? Yesterday, government announced that they're increasing the fees, the tuition fees, maintenance, which is actually what students are concerned about. So for anybody who doesn't know, our system is split into two. You get a loan where half of that loan goes to the university that you're studying at in order to pay for your education, and you get what's known as a maintenance loan to pay for your rent and your food and all the rest of it. And yesterday, government made an announcement that the full-time fees in England are going up by £280 a year, which arguably is very little. And maintenance is going up by 3%, which arguably is very little because inflation is running higher than that. So actually... So that's, and that's the only policy discussion that there is at all about higher education in this country, which brings in tens of billions of pounds in international students, in enterprise, in startups, and all the rest of it. Do I believe that education should be free? I don't know. I really don't. I think that education should be a manageable expense, but there is a reality on the ground. The one is that we make education completely free, in which case you have to look at how many people are going to university. And a lot of, older folks who went to university pre-fees are like, when I went to uni, there were no fees. That's true, but 15% of students went to university. Today, it's over 50, post Tony Blair's whole thing. So first of all, we've got 50% of students who are going to university. That costs money, buildings and electricity and teachers and research and all of the rest of it. So you can make it free and you reduce the number of people, which inevitably means elite students going who've got parents who've got money, or you charge for it and you've got a more diverse range and higher social mobility opportunity. Social mobility for students who go to university is dramatically higher for lower socioeconomic students. So if you come from a lower socioeconomic background and you go to university, your social mobility skyrockets. If you're a middle-class kid who goes to university, your social mobility goes up a tiny bit.
That's what happened to me. I come from inner city Birmingham.
Right.
Went to Durham and it completely changed my life.
Great school, yeah.
No, because you met me.
Yeah.
That
and
was
then
how
I
his life
employed him.
changed.
That's how
And then I gave him a job.
That's how his whole life changed.
Yeah, no,
but that's exactly it. Yeah.
More than it just opened my eyes. I was like, oh, okay, people have money.
Yeah.
Like, I thought guy around the corner with his dad had a beat up Mercedes. I thought they had money.
Then you come to London and go, whoa, 100%. And it's networks. And I'm forever saying to students, the network that you build at university will, in many times in your life, be more valuable than the piece of paper. Piece of paper is great. It gets you through the front door. After that, it's all about your network. And I've got a mentor who's worth about £800 million. He probably owns a beat up Mercedes. Mm-hmm. And he said to me a few years ago, we were talking about networking and how important it was and how much easier it is today than what it used to be. And he reckons he can draw a direct line between £500 million that he's got and the fact that he went to Harvard Business School. Not because he went to Harvard Business School, but because when an opportunity comes up in his class at HBR, that HBS, Harvard Business Review has been on the mind, that whoever that person is will first call all of the schoolmates. So it's just money attracts money. Mm-hmm. So building up the network while you're at university is absolutely crucial. Are we really going to make it only rich kids and kids who come from more privileged backgrounds being able to go to university? Like, what happens to all the other kids? So, but can you make it completely free? You can, but then where does the money come from? And let's also, as a final point, remember that the fact that fees are wiped out for 50% of students today means that we're paying for that as taxpayers, mm-hmm. right? So on the one hand, the future economy is all about the knowledge economy. On the other hand, it's hard to argue that some courses at university contribute to that knowledge economy in meaningful ways that the taxpayer might be satisfied with. So as always, you've got to take from one to give to the other. You just got to decide who you're taking from and who you're giving to.
A lot of people don't understand the loan system and actually that it's quite progressive. And really, if you have a bad outcome from uni, you won't even pay back what you borrowed. It's the people who have good jobs who pay the most. They're the people where they go, okay, your education's cost you over 100 grand, but you now earn a load of money.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And so we're always telling universities, and this has been a shift in their narrative, don't talk about the £45,000 average. Talk about the 20 quid a month. Mm-hmm. Because if you are graduating into a Golden Circle law firm at the moment and you come from a good university, you can start on 150 grand. That 22-year-old who's now sitting on 150 grand is not begrudging spending £200 a month for paying back their student loan.
The amount of debt you have is irrelevant. It's the amount you pay back a month over the time period and your lifetime earning potential, really.
100%.
But if you go and it's bad and you end up on 25 grand a year, you won't even clear what you borrowed.
Well, bad, or you go into one of the caring professions like nurses and teachers who we simply do not pay enough, in which case, and I've made this point in these meetings, stop charging them fees. They're not paying that fee back anyway. So if you want to get more nurses, which we know that we need, and if you want more good quality teachers, which we know that we need, scrap the student fees for them because it's actually a tokenistic thing because they're never paying it back anyway. Increase the fees on students like me who studied economics, for whom that piece of paper made a significant difference in graduate potential, and don't even talk about the fees. Use the mechanisms of the tax system, use the levers to get the outcomes that you want. Instead, you're saying, oh, nurses have a £500,000 debt by the time they graduate. Well, yeah, but they never touch. So it's just a rubbish narrative.
Yeah, and you could, like you say, you can incentivize the behaviours you want. So if we need 1 year, we need doctors. Right. It's like, well, it's free for doctors this year, and you'll get a big flood of people go that way.
Exactly. Use the tax system. I know it's really geeky, but like we've got so many levers in order to create the society that we want, but instead we don't use them. So as you said, like 1 year we want a lot of doctors. So this year we're going to double the maintenance for doctors and we're going to halve the student loan. And then as you said, you're going to get this massive ramp up. So it's just not, we're applying blanket rules to everything. The people who need to worry about their student loan is anyone earning over £65,000. If you're earning over 65 grand, you're going to pay the whole thing back. You're going to pay back 3 times more than you borrowed. That's for sure. If you spend your life on 40 grand, you're going to pay, 20, 30, £100 a month. I'm not saying it's not money, but it's hardly catastrophic money for anyone on a decent salary.
It's a graduate tax, right?
100%.
And what you need to do is, the question is, should I even go to uni? I think, we did like finance. I did a finance degree at Durham. Do I need to go? I worked in sales after that. I probably could have just got into sales.
100%.
You sat next to a guy, the best guy in the room, never went to uni. He dropped out of school at 15. He just knows how to sell. And I learned more off him in 10 minutes, And like the network, amazing. But, we were also paying 3.5 grand, not 9.5, and
makes a difference.
So I think for me, that's the conversation.
I
Don't
agree.
worry about the debt. Go, should I go to uni?
Agreed.
Could I get a grad scheme or an apprenticeship and get into work that way?
Yeah,
and if you make the decision, just forget about the amount.
Yeah, and also don't be so scared of making the decision. And this is the other thing that I'd want to say to anybody. Everybody seems to be under this impression you've got to get everything right off the bat. And the truth is, I started in sales. I studied marketing, couldn't get a job in marketing, got to final round, couldn't get a job, ended up in sales where I was getting paid nothing except that I was great at sales, so made a fortune, went into the not-for-profit world, got headhunted into banking, and now I'm doing this. So I've had like 5 professions. Yeah. You're not going to get everything right. You don't want to get everything right. Try, do, nothing's permanent.
That was a clip from our full-length interview with Vivi Friedgut. If you want to watch the full episode, you can watch it right here.